good thing about Menachem is he could hear an idea from somebody, like his daughter seeing a breakdancer on Venice Beach, and in a relatively short amount of time, there is a movie being made about it.
This is a new dance. This will grab the whole world.
He just said, okay, we're making this movie. We're going into production in 3 weeks. We didn't have a script. We didn't have cast. We didn't have anything.
Break in, and you just don't stop. Here comes the movie that's fresh and hot, with high energy, dancing to the beat with a scratch mix sound that comes from the street.
Breaking was like the Enter the Dragon of hip-hop, because he had the best of the best. There were no stuntmen, and we weren't actors. We were all green. They just said, put him on camera.
Boogaloo Shrimp and Shabadoo. And I don't even know what their real names are.
I played the leader, the straight guy. I was the Dean Martin role, and he was the funniest sidekick, Jerry Lewis. The way people perceive me in the neighborhood, or just around the world, they perceive me as some sort of urban superhero.
We look up to him because a lot of what has been invented has come from him.
Boogaloo Shrimp was a sensation.
The whole place would just stop and just watch him. He would just start going and going and going, and it was like, I don't even know where he came up with that stuff.
Lucinda Dickey was no more than a gymnast, but Menachem liked her.
He called and he's like, I'm gonna make you my next big star.
Lucinda Dickey didn't really fit in the break-in film from our point of view. We resented her.
It was hell at times. I'm not gonna lie. He made it known from the very first day that I walked into rehearsals that he was superior. He couldn't do what I did, but it didn't matter because the movie wasn't about jazz dancing. It was about break dancing.
Obviously, she was an outsider, but I believe when you see the movie today, this element works because that's how the story goes, that she's an outsider that has to be accepted in.
There are lines in the movie that were just so true and real.
She ain't no street dancer. She knows nothing about what we do.
There was a high drama because Orion Pictures was making a movie called Beat Street at the same time.
Menachem at the time famously said,
We must beat Beat Street.
This was the race to be the first breakdance movie. Whatever could be assembled in enough time to make the release date was what the movie was going to end up being.
That movie had to make it in that year, 1984. It had to make it. If it didn't, we wouldn't know hip-hop as we know it today.
The rest is history, because it became one of their most popular and highest-grossing films.
It showed leadership, and it showed camaraderie between the different races. So it really did something the United Nations was unable to do so far, is bring nations together under one groove.
Our movie did better numbers than Beat Street.
This year, the big hit for Golan and Globus is Breakin'. It cost just over $1 million to make and has so far taken in more than $56 million.
Unfortunately, it led to Menachem thinking, I figured it out.
This story's through, but wait till part 2.
Menachem comes in, he says, we're going to do a sequel. The name of the sequel is Electric Boogaloo. And so it was.
We will do what Fred Astaire did. Shrimp, he will dance on the ceiling.
And he got it.
Breakin' 2 was more of a cartoon.
The whole hospital scene, it was silly.
They missed the grittiness that the first one had.
We're over here in East LA with pastels. That was canon. They're like, let's really make LA clean and beautiful like a rainbow. It really took away from the authenticity.
I cried about it. We had lost sight of the message.
I simply thought it was a fad, it was over. But the movies actually did make an impact upon the youthful audience of its day.
So they had their finger on the pulse of something once in a while. But most of the time, the pulse was on something that was so misguided